Hey, all you YouTubers, mountain bikers, and moto riders, and anybody that does filming with their riding activity. I wanted to express what I've learned over some years here. For quite some time, I've used a chin-mounted camera and found that I believe it's a superior place to mount a camera. But I want to get into comparison of other methods, such as the chest cam versus a helmet camera in general. There's clearly one big difference between those choices, and this is something that you have to make early on. I want to hit on that, and then a lot of the comparison details of, why is it better to have it on the chin versus elsewhere in your helmet. So I want to do a lot of comparing, and I'm sure a lot of people that record have learned some of these things, but I want to show you a solution. I bought this Super 3R helmet from Bell recently, and I was pretty impressed because it allows you to take the chin bar off, and I guess these have been around for a few years, but I just never bothered to consider getting a full face helmet because typically when I ride mountain bike, I don't wear a full face, and I'm in Southern California. It gets hot. I don't want to wear one, and I still don't want to wear it, other than the compelling reason now is because I know I can get better video shots when I mountain bike if I mount my camera on my helmet, and furthermore if I mount it on my chin. So what I've learned from having a chest mount initially is what I used on my motorcycle, and then over time I end up getting one of these chin mount cameras, which is from proshotcam.com. You can see their web address on here. It's not coming up, but it's proshotcam.com. I'll just call it the ProShot. They got a website and you can order these from them. I'm not trying to do an advertisement for them so much as try to demonstrate the benefits of where you mount your camera. I don't want to have a gimbal, and as far as I know, most people mount them on their chest, and that's comes back to the same old problem. First off, you got more gear. You can get great shots, and it's really proven. There's no question people get really good videos using gimbals. But the one thing that I think is missing is if you don't have a camera mounted on the helmet, you can't get pan shots. I don't know how you can get a pan shot unless you rotate your body or you rotate the camera. Whereas when you have the camera on your head, you just turn your head and you can get a pan shot, and a pan shot can reveal a lot of information very quickly and when you need to, as opposed to thinking it out and reactionary, adding that information to your footage. But some of the things that I can say are really bad about a chest mount too is that every time you put it on, it's in a different position. The straps are cumbersome, and you have to always adjust them. As they get wet, they may move around on you. So trying to get a consistent position with your camera is important. I don't like to fiddle around with videography. I want to just ride. And having a chin-mounted camera like this has a lot of benefits, and I'm going to get into those as to why it's better. Again, the chest mount, a big disadvantage is you get your Camelback hose, the water leaks onto your lens down below, and you can ruin some footage that way. You'll have droplets on there. I've had that happen, and then you find out this stuff and regret it later. So the likelihood of getting it on the chin mount is very low. Also, I'll try and focus a little bit more now on just the reason why I prefer a chin mount versus just on top of the helmet. This particular helmet, which I think is nice, that Bell had this mount. I'll just show how it goes on here. It's got a pin. You can just see it in the front there. There's a little pin. And the pin goes in the hole on the top of the helmet. And it snugly fits into the helmet. And the Velcro's designed just to hold the whole thing down in place. But my belief is the engineers probably figured, well, we need to have a way to let this thing come out of there quickly for safety reasons, and perhaps they expect the Velcro to break away. So I'm assuming that the intent was it to be a breakaway mount. And that's to my point about why I don't want a helmet cam on my top of my head, because branches can hit it and snag it, and next thing you know, you've injured your neck. But in terms of just videography, the practical reasons why having a camera mounted right in front of your face are you can see the lights on the camera, you can hear the sounds, the beeps and whatnot. If you have to interact with your camera, you know what's going on better. You also can adjust it much better because it's very repeatable. There's a point, there's a gap you can see here between the helmet and the camera where you can repeatedly gauge that when you put the camera onto the helmet. And that's another big problem with having a camera up on top of your helmet. You have no reference point, so you're likely to get crappy camera angle. It's also more of a point of view from, it's closer to your eyes, and you don't get the visor in the way of the shot. So I think those are a good summary list of reasons why you want it there. You can also wipe it quickly. You just run your hand over it. It's not awkward to get to. It doesn't block your view. It may ever so slightly, but generally speaking, I never have an issue with the camera obstructing my vision, so it's not a problem in that regard. You can still adjust it. This particular mount has a standard GoPro adjuster on there. I'll try and get underneath. So you can adjust the tilt easily. This Pro Shot was really easy to put onto my mountain bike helmet because all I had to do was use zip ties. I put 2 on each side and 2 in the front, and then a total of 6 zip ties allowed me to get the job done. Let's see if I can focus on the zip ties are kind of underneath there. But it was a no-brainer. Normally, like on my motorcycle helmet, I just use the adhesive strips that came with the mount. They just go on the back of the plastic. It's a hard Velcro-like material. It's not cloth, so it's very stiff and strong, and you don't have to mess with it once you put it on. But because ventilation is everything on a mountain bike, you can see here I wanted to leave this hole open to let air through, and also that would be problematic for the adhesive to have more bearing area if there's a hole there. So mounting it took me just minutes to cinch it down, and I was done. One thing about this helmet I wanted to get into is it's back to, well, why didn't I ever want a full face helmet? Like I say, it's hot, it's hard to wear, but I'm going to take the helmet off of the vase head here, just so you can see. I want to show how the helmet comes apart. There's 3 clips, one on each side and one in the rear of the helmet. So you just flick the latch in each position, and it comes off very quickly. So you could actually do it probably with one hand while riding, but why bother? But because of the design of this, it's fully circumferential once you've disconnected it, so it can hang from your neck if you really wanted to. So if you're on a climb, you can disconnect it and just leave it lay down there without having to stop and put it in your pack. In reality, it's probably just as easy to set your pack up so you have a way to retain it, to stop, take it off, and go climbing. So you can see how the rest of this helmet's designed. It's just like a conventional helmet, so you get a lot of ventilation through it. Now this particular helmet is not downhill rated. They have another model from Bell that does that, and Giro has one as well that's downhill rated. But I didn't really like the way their detachable chin mount worked as much as the Bell design, because this is more circumferential. I think that's valuable to have it come around like that. Anyway, I didn't need a real downhill helmet because, again, my motivation was not so much to have a full face helmet. I just wanted to have a way I could mount my camera. And, when I don't need the camera, I just take this off, put it on my pack. I've never worn a whole lot of protective gear when I mountain bike. Of course, when I moto, I have all kinds of gear on, and it's not an issue. But got to have your ventilation for mountain biking. So I think I've hit on all the points. Just make sure here if there's anything else to add. I think I pretty much hit it, but hope that helps. Go out and get yourself a chin cam mount, or make your own for that matter. I'm not trying to be a salesperson for Bell or ProShot, but I found that this is a very simple system to get going on, and it's going to suit my needs. And now I'll be more motivated to make mountain biking videos, because historically I made all my videos on my motorcycle because I could use my motorcycle helmet, which I had the ProShot mount on, or if I ride my Moto, my Typhoon, I wear my motorcycle helmet as well, and it's just get better video footage that way. Yeah, one last thing I didn't mention was just their stabilization kind of goes with the program. If you have a camera mounted on your head, it tends to be stable, and that kind of offsets the need for a gimbal when you have it on your chest. So it may not be the perfect stabilization, but I found that it's much more stable than having a chest harness cam bouncing around on you. So there you have it, folks. Hope that helps.